$2.49. Today, I'm going to, I have a bunch of useful knowledge, especially this time of year, that I can share with everyone, and everyone from 16 to 116 can take advantage of the gift shopping information or self-shopping information that I'm about to give you right now. Today, I have accidentally become an expert at buying on buying vintage things new in box. I do a lot of that, and I'm going to show you guys how to do it and what you could end up with, what to look for, what not to look for, and secondary choices when it's not new in box or not labeled new in box. So we're going to get you to some of the coolest stuff. You're going to see some of the coolest stuff in America. You know I'm not lying, because over my shoulder, you see the 1976 Farrah Fawcett poster. And it's gorgeous. And it is a reprint on very thick paper. I was very, very impressed, very, very impressed with the quality. And there were complaints on the Amazon website. I think I paid $10 for this, maybe 14. But I think they print them off one-offs, maybe, I don't know. But they were complaining that the colors were not that vivid. The original poster's colors were not that vivid. So there are people who have enhanced the colors and are selling that poster with enhanced colors, and it's a lot more money, but it's not the original. So, good morning, Killer Fuzz. Killer Fuzz, just an FYI. At the end, right before I went live here this morning, I found out what invite a guest means, and it's half screen one guy, me, half screen you, and I can't get rid of that. So I'm stuck the whole time in half screen. So we will do a live stream together, but we'll both have to do it at the same time and be ready, and we'll both be up there before you hit the live button. So let's talk. Let's start out with the most obvious and basic purchase, but I promise what you're going to see today, you haven't thought about in years, and there are key words too, really key words. But let's start out first with the Pocket Fisherman, okay? This is the box. When you get new in box, if they take the cellophane off, it's gonna be a bit beat up. This product, okay, this particular one, the brown one that I've been testing for the last couple days, this one, the brown one, well, it gets even more interesting. Okay, this is the one that they made from 1972 to 1986, or the early 80s. Ron Popeil, his father's company, which was Popeil, so even back in the 50s when you saw Ron, which actually I had Ron in front of my house in a Rolls Royce one day. I'll tell you about that later. But when you're purchasing this, there's some secrets here, okay? Secrets. So from 1976 to 1981, his father went bankrupt. Popeil Industries went bankrupt in 80. The bank forced a large loan recall, although Ronco, who left Popeil Industries, his dad's company, to make his own company. Both these companies are located in Chicago. Ron has his own company. I think he started his in 76. And I think this was the second thing that he put out. So Ron had a bank forced full payment. One of the bank loans he had, they forced full payment. The company was going great at the time. So after the bankruptcy, Ron bought all of the products. He bought the warehouse full of everything that he's been selling for all these years. He privately bought it from his company. So at that time, this logo turned green. Okay. It says Ronco, okay? So this turned green. And I believe a picture of Ron's face appeared here. There may be two versions of the green sticker. So if you got the green sticker, you got the one that was made. This gets interesting. The one that gets made after the bankruptcy. But two companies made the guts for this. The second company removed this really nice hand-turned dial and just put a nut there, okay? So you'll see some of these as he goes out of stock, got a green sticker here, red sticker here, and then when he ran out of these, he started using a nut. But the guts originally were made by, I think it was Berkeley and Johnson. I think, no, Zebco. Zebco and Johnson. So if you have the one with the red sticker here, you probably got Zebco guts. If you got the one with the green sticker here, you probably got Johnson guts. Those are manufacturers of fishing stuff. Okay, there is, for the young ones in the audience, I'm going to show you here, is a little tackle box right there. Okay, it folds up like this for you young ones watching. Now, like I said, the information I'm giving today is good for 16-year-olds to 116-year-olds. So the original one folded up like this. It's got a little hanger for your belt there if you use it open. And it's casting for me right now. I didn't tune it up. I didn't open up the guts. I did not change the string. I don't think this is the original string. But I could cast it. At first it was casting about 30 feet. Now I'm probably at like 45 feet of casting with this one. Now, to finish this important story, you might find these in green. And if you find these in green, it is not made in the USA, and it is from 2015 till today. So for 10 years, actually they just stopped producing these in green. So you can't, to get a new one, you have to buy old new stock, what we call old new stock. I'm going to show you stuff that's 50 years old that I'm buying old new stock. Well, not old new stock, but mint. But a lot of the stuff you're going to see is old new stock. This was not old new stock. This was in mint condition with the original box. Made in USA, actually made in Chicago or Illinois. And the new ones, the green ones, are made in China. It's a totally different machine with the instructions. Okay, the other things it did not come with was the original couple of lures and an actual heavy plastic Ziploc bag that this goes in that also has a belt link, okay? So that's all the stuff that you would find in your pocket Fisherman box if you got one for $19.95 off the television set in 1970, is it 72 or 76? Now I'm messing it up. It says right here. 1972. So from also you gotta collapse that to get it in the box. I'm not sure why I'm spending the time trying to get it into the box. Let's just put it down. Okay, so that is the Ronco. That is the history of this Ronco product. I believe he died 7 years ago. So I'm living, ironically, in a garage apartment in a very affluent neighborhood on the North Shore of Chicago 20 years ago. So I'm like literally getting I'm like 28 years old, bad credit, single, and I'm getting credit card offers like just because of my zip code. Tony Kukoc, basketball player, lives kitty corner for me. A lot of the Bulls live within 2 or 3 miles. Michael Jordan lived within not even 3 miles of me. And I live on a somewhat busy street. And in front of my house, I pull out, and next to me is a white two-door Rolls Royce. And it gets in, and the guy in the driver's seat has this big giant head. Big, meaty pumpkin on the top of his body. Big and meaty. Just real long and big. And I get behind it, and it says Ronco. So I speed up, and I'm like, hey, waving at him. And he's actually driving the same type of Rolls Royce I saw Mr. T driving. Maybe he sold it to him because Mr. T also lived in that area. And to be more specific, it was Deerfield, Illinois. Like, I could literally sit on my back porch and watch Tony Kukoc and his cousins and his nephews and his brothers play basketball in the front yard. Tony Kukoc was a Chicago Bull for the last 2 rings. Okay. So this is the original. Remember, if you're buying it a gift for someone, you want to buy, you got a man that you can't think of a gift for. Men are impossible to shop for. If he is over the age of 45, if it's your dad, this is the gift. Okay, try and find, and you can get these. Some people are crazy. Some people want $90 for this. I paid 24 without the $14 shipping, and it was the best shipping job I ever saw. And they didn't ship it USPS, they shipped it UPS. Okay, so this is the original box you're looking for. You want the red sticker for dad. I mean, you want to get him the best, and the best, see, nobody know, like, they're literally selling the green ones that were produced from 2015 to like 2022. They're literally, because there was a 15-year gap where you couldn't get one of these. They're literally selling the green one, and it says vintage. It's not vintage. It's not vintage. It's not made in USA. The green ones are made in China. You want the brown one. There's literally very high-end name brand companies that made the guts of these, okay? This is not a piece of junk. Now, if you want it for yourself, it's tough to fish with. It's tough to set the hook unless you're, you know, going vertical. But if you're pitching, this is pretty short. So you got to do a sidearm swing to get it out there, because you got nothing working for you on, you know, you don't have a 7-foot rod here. You got like a 11-inch rod. And you got to do that, and you really got to pull to set the hook, okay? Now, the fishing video I did put out, those were real. And if you listen very closely to that video, when I'm cranking, you hear the click, 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 and then it goes silent because the drag's coming out and the bass fish was running with it. Okay, that's what happened. And then I figured out this little dial right here tightens all the way left, all the way clockwise for no drag, and all the way counterclockwise for 100% drag, so the fish can take the bait and you can't even wind it up. So the lesson I learned on the 2 fish I learned was, because I didn't look at the instructions, I didn't think it would be set that way. I figured if somebody used this, they reeled it in with a fish on it. Goodbye. Now, how do you know if you got new in box? If you got new in box, there's going to be a tag going through here that you got to rip off. In that little slot right there, there's a little tag. You got to rip it off. And if the tag's there, this has never been used. My tag was not there, but I was okay because this thing is mint. Okay, it's totally mint. That somebody used it. It was well taken care of. It was kept in the original box. So if you need a gift for dad, I'm telling you, start here, just to get the smile on his face. Maybe he'll go take a walk. Maybe he'll go. All right, let's move on. Let's look at the chat real quick. Ha ha ha, I caught my first fish on one of those. You know what, Susan? Aaron Krause, long time, just like yourself, a long time person in the channel, but he doesn't talk much, but we've known each other from the silver days, so we have each other's number and we text. And he was saying that this was his first fishing pole, and he got it when he was 6, but he didn't catch the first fish until he was 9, but he never gave up. So I'll tell you, yesterday I went out again. I got no bites. I did find a giant hornet's nest with like a 7-inch hole coming out of the earth, and all these hornets and then I was like, you know what, screw this. I don't want to play over here. All right, the next fun thing. But wait. If you're talking fishing poles, if you're a guy, I'm going to show you the most incredible deal that ever happened. St. Croix. I'm going to show you guys a fishing pole that you could get new in box or near new in box or never used. Because these are white elephant gifts. Here's the most important point of the whole live stream. Okay, you guys know what a white elephant gift is. That's when you go to Walgreens and you spend 20 bucks on something, and it's usually a freaking chia pet or something that was seen on TV. And that ends up in the white elephant gift box, okay? So a lot of those white elephant gifts that nobody had a use for back in the day are now extremely useful and extremely interesting. But St. Croix put something out that you could pick up for as little as $20. I mean, it's better than the Pocket Fisherman, and it is the competitor of the Pocket Fisherman, and we will get to that. This was the fishing rod I always take camping. Bada bing. It's perfect for camping. Oops. I don't know what I just did there. I am at work sitting. USA is at work sitting on the toilet, wasting time. Good idea. Good idea. You know what? The most covered item that you own, covered in poop, is your phone. Well-known fact. But let's not do poop jokes. Okay. Let's move on to something that I just mentioned, the white elephant gift. That is probably one of the best gifts. If you don't know what to buy for a person, male or female, this one works, okay? Grandma, Auntie Jean. Okay, back in the 60s, the 1960s, I believe it was, today we're visiting 1967, and I'm telling you, you can get this new inbox for frickin' nothing on YouTube, okay? And it's big. It's big. It's a lot of stuff. So, back in the 1960s, one of the white elephant gifts that you will always find when God forbid you have to go clean out your grandparents' house after they pass and you're rummaging through stuff and trying to get rid of stuff, you will run into this. Okay, what it originally was. This gets really interesting. This is deep like the Pocket Fisherman, okay? All right. What it originally was called, and what you will search for on eBay, is a picnic set. That's one of the terms. Picnic set is a very popular term because most of the boxes say picnic set, and if they know it's a picnic set, they have the box, it's new in box, or it's damn near new in box. But this is one of the gifts that Grandma never used. But it's awesome. Okay. The picnic set came in different configurations, but always the picnic set has two thermoses. Now, what you're looking at here, ladies and gentlemen, they're just not regular. These are 1969, early 70s, maybe, from the Thermos company. No, this is 1967. You know why? Because it's the first year before 1960. Now, what happens is you get this picnic set, and in this particular one, in between the two thermoses was a square plastic box you could fit like 10 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in. Okay? Some of them had forks and stuff, plates, the bigger picnic sets, and they come in a leatherette bag. Okay? So generally speaking, there's going to be what looks like a bowling bag, a tall bowling bag, with two of these and a plastic box in the center, all from the Thermos company. But this is where it gets good. Trust me, this is the most important thing. And this is an advancement in technology that happened in 1967. Now, you guys know this is for coffee, and this is what they call the wide mouth for like soup, right? But here's where it gets crazy. In 1967, they came up with the plastic inside. It was no longer black. That's brand new in box, ladies and gentlemen. I paid 25 or 28 bucks for this. So they had the, what did they call it? When I got these, it had the original wraps on them, but I used this stuff. I just want the best. You know, I'm not going to buy. Where is she? Where is she? I'm not going to buy a Chinese alarm clock. I'm buying one that was made by General Electric in 1962. And it works, and nobody ever used it. Or barely used it. It's a beautiful. I got this for $5 at a local auction that doesn't sell anything for over 20 bucks. I mean, they're moving German World War II flags for like 20 bucks. Nothing goes. You can buy 1,000 fishing poles for 40 bucks. Literally, a pile of fishing poles with reels on them for 20 bucks, just over the border in Wisconsin. It's called Frog. If you put Froggy Auctions, you'll get it. I recommend if you're in the area to go there. So in 1967, we got now you could put the spoon in and not feed your kids broken glass. Because before 1967, this was a glass inside. So that made it, what did they call it? I can't remember what they called it. I got the box, I got all the original stuff for it, but I ripped the stickers off. And I can't remember, it's a shame I can't remember, but you want the plastic insert, and they show pictures. So it was Dino something. With the Dino something interior, DINE -O something. And that was the year when they came out with the Dino whatever. You'll see the sticker on eBay around the paper wrap. That is the Dino. Man, it doesn't matter, but what you want when you buy these is you want to make sure you got the plastic inside, new in box, and you want that plastic insert. Now the glass is still there, but the glass is on the outside. So now you got 3 thermal protections to keep this thing piping hot, and it does. You got the plastic insert, then that sits inside the glass insert, and then you got this tin outside. And I'm telling you, you could pick this stuff up for 20 bucks. You know, some of these people go, and you know what is the beautiful one? You remember these when they had them with the black and red Scotch pattern? I love those. And you can get these a little bit more expensive. 1976 made USA, not made in USA, but just USA. You know, red, white, and blue canisters. They look real cool with the diamonds. Remember ones with the weird diamonds on them? It looked like a backgammon board. Those are all there brand new. And if you got a dad that fishes or a mom that likes to go camping or a grandma, you know, that's going to fit a lot of people. And you're giving it to them new in box, and it was originally made in the USA back in the 50s, 60s, or 70s. So how do I move back into the 50s? Okay. Oh, here, let's do this example too. Also, this is an impossible find. This is the most famous. I also have the most famous lunchbox here too, that men use, that like construction guys or, you know, building engineers, guys like that. Who is this? The Perfect Gift, featured on Paul Harvey News. The rest of the story. Remember Paul? Hi, I'm Paul Harvey. Okay, so this is original new in box. This is made in USA. Right now, these are made in China. And right now, these are 90 bucks. And for this exact one, it's like 120 to 90 bucks new. This is whenever Paul Harvey was, the 60s or 70s. This comes out, the parts are replaceable, the coffee cup. I mean, this thing, you couldn't penetrate a bullet with this thing. It is thick and heavy. And this is a great gift for any guy, and you could get this new NIB or spill it out new in box. And then you're gonna see if that particular week there's a low selection. That's why you need to start looking now. Anything new in box, NIB, look for vintage stuff because there's more ideas than just this. You know, you can get the Chrissy doll, new in box. I seen it. A guy that's just down the street from me that has a YouTube channel just featured a Chrissy doll, new and beautiful Christy. Okay, so one of the other sizes that came in this set is this, again, with the Dino Safe insert, no glass, plastic. This is the first year they put them out because that's when they did the timber design. So the year that they came out with the Dino Liner, that's it, Dino Liner. I'm pretty sure that's it, Dino Liner. So I got 3 sizes of these, which I intended all to use. I recently took a position and was told that I was going to be forced to a 1 hour lunch. So I was intending to use this. Let me get rid of these. And this and this. Now, guys know that this particular lunchbox, this was $140, literally brand new. $140 if you went to Walmart to get this. In the 80s or 90s, in the 80s, it was probably like 120 or 110. Because it is the high end, they generally come in with that green. This one, generally, the 149 version of this always came with this. And this right here, even back then, was 60, 70 bucks. If closeout, you might get it for 49. These were very expensive from the 70s and 80s. The price of these were always extremely high. And I think I got it for 30 bucks. So this is new in box. Now, the reason this isn't that, it isn't a collector's item, even though it's never been used, is because there's an electrical supply company's name printed there. So these were gifts that never got used for the electrical supply salesman, or maybe high-end customers would get these. People who are buying $100,000 of stuff a year would get sent this as a gift with the company logo on it. But this is a lunch cooler for like a gorilla, like a gorilla or Bigfoot. It fits a lot. It's if you're doing a small 1 day afternoon, 1 meal picnic, that would be perfect. But let's get in some of the fun stuff. Let's catch up. Ron Copo Peel Products, Fisherman, the first thing pulled when I was 6. Also, Aaron Krause said exactly the same thing, 6. But he said he didn't catch anything on it till he was 9. Perfect for hiking, good call. And this was the fishing rod I always take camping. Sorry, I'm reading stuff twice. My dad had the same Stanley for like 40 years, right? And when you see these now on eBay, you could barely tell that they were ever green. I mean, they're so beat up, but they're still going. And there's never been a cup of coffee in this one. This one I'm scared to use. This one I don't really want to use because I understand the retail value is way beyond my satisfaction of having a cold cup of coffee or a hot cup of coffee. So I don't know where to go with that. All right, let's go a little bit farther back. Now, in the 1970s, you guys probably remember these. Okay? These are like Atari cartridges. You put them in and it could just burn out. You know, you could put this in, the light goes on, the glue unmelts, and all those little things fall out nowadays. So these individually go for $1 or $2. I actually, the story behind these, I actually had the projector that they made for these, and that thing could heat your house. And it was burning through a lot of these because the heat was so high. So I had a projector. I still have I gave it away, like a 1960s silver screen home projector or home screen that you would set up to watch your 8mm movies. And then these, what is this? You remember this? This is America's Bicentennial. I kept some of these. Disney Theater in the round. I had the entire 400, I think it was 425 of these. They came up with 425 of these, not including anything Disney, like really past the 70s. And it comes in this Viewmaster box. But I had a bigger box that held all of them, and I had reel number 1 through reel 425. And there's some controversial stuff I got. I think I got 5 or 6 Sambos. Remember the story of Sambo? That's not a bad story. The way they tell it on here, it's like, why is this being banned? That's ridiculous. This is a great story. Sambo's a great story. And I personally appreciate the verbiage that they used when referring to people of other nationalities back then, because it shows us where we're at today. It's a reminder. But when you erase that, then you're able to tell the whole world that racism exists and Whitey's the devil. So that's the path that the country's on right now, is erasing Sambo. When Sambo is a fantastic story that uses somewhat inappropriate words, and not really too much because it was for children. They were very delicate about it. But there might be some things that would make people cringe a little bit in the particular one of these, that is. That might make people cringe. So I had the entire collection, and I sold it all. I had it, I collected, I looked at all of them, and I was happy. You guys remember the tins? Remember you would get that big giant tin shaped exactly like this, and it would have your Viewmaster in it and some stuff, and maybe you had the Viewmaster projector. Well, before they had the red, white, and blue Viewmaster that anyone over the age of 45 grew up with and knows from the 70s and the 80s when they were red, white, and blue, this was the model that we'd have. And this part was not there. This part is an add-on, but this is the Viewmaster before the red, white, and blue one. It's metal all over the place. I mean, the dial not only is the mechanism that goes inside metal, but the handle itself is metal, and it lights up. That's what this part is, the battery pack. So I do like this one. When my eye went bad is when I sold it, and that's why I sold it. I didn't think my eye was going to get any better than it was at. So I wasn't working for several weeks, so I said, well, when am I going to use this again? The 3D effect doesn't work if you only got one eyeball. So I sold that with the complete set mint. And some of the ones, I hope I have them here. I've got these handwritten from the factory. That's how old I got these. Now they didn't handwrite them one at a time. What they did is instead of having a font machine, that would write out the letters on the card like that, they would write it by hand. And then they'd make millions of copies of the one that was written by hand, because they didn't have fonts available to this company at that time. They weren't using fonts. They were just handwriting it and then making a million copies of it. So that is not a bad gift, especially for somebody who's no longer mobile. Everyone has somebody, that they know that, almost everybody, I would say, knows somebody that's not mobile, or it's difficult for them to be mobile, and they don't use the internet. NCR or Caesar's Legion. I think we have one of those projectors. It comes in a box. It's all solid made of metal. And I wish I could. The Viewmaster projector. There was a first one and there was a second one. There's no plastic on the first one. I had the first one that heats up. The plastic one was way better, and way cheaper, and about 100 pounds lighter. You have a red. Oh yeah, the red one. It's red on your side, and it's white on the other side, and generally it might have a blue button. They also had these in tan when they started making the plastic, and I've repaired a lot of these. Like, I was literally buying shitty ones so I can get the parts off the shitty ones and put it in my red, white, and blue ones. It's red here, white here, and a blue toggle, generally. So I would make those better. Get them and take them apart and put them all back together. And then some of them where the white side got brown, I would bleach it outside for like 2 days and get it white again, and then put it back together and sell it. And I was doing that when my eye was messed up. That, and I was flipping Mego dolls, which is my favorite. I sold all my Mego dolls when I was broke, and mine were mint. I mean, I had the rarest mint Mego, and the Mego dolls were like 8-inch tall action figures that were wearing clothing. Like Superman had a suit, and you could take his suit off, so that kind of makes it a doll. because you could take the clothes on and off. So Superman's suit would come off and he'd just have like blue underpants, and they were like 8 inches tall. And I had the rarest: Thor, Iron Man, Captain America, and Amigo made 3 Captain America. If you don't know, if you're over 50 and you don't remember Mego, Mego was the company that made the dolls, that made the Superman, Batman. Remember the Batman and the Robin? Robin had the yellow cape and the rubber green shoes, and Batman had the plastic boots that went on and off, the blue plastic boots. That was the Mego company, and I really did truly love their stuff. I have one of those red. Okay, I'm making sure I get everybody red. Hey, give me a thumbs up. Oh, I got 11. That's pretty good. All right, let's get to the last thing. This is the thing that you buy for yourself. And I have seen them as little as $20 in the last couple days, but you probably don't want a $20 one. And I'll tell you why. Well, you know what? $20 one, I'm not saying don't look, because there's 2 kinds of people on eBay. There's people who sell every effing thing they can get their fingers on, and they're a jack of all trades and an expert in none. So they don't know the true value of this thermos. So they sell this thermos for 25 or 30 bucks. And they have no idea that originally this thing cost 80 bucks back in 1975. You know, they have no idea. You know, it probably cost 60 bucks, but it's always been a grossly priced item that is very, very good. So there are a lot. And then there are the sellers that are specific. People who only sell fishing stuff, and they know the value. And that's not necessarily the guy you want to buy from unless you really, really like the condition of what you're buying. So in 1978, 2 years after Ron Popeil started crushing the fishing market, St. Croix in Wisconsin, just over the border and just a few miles away from the headquarters of Ronco, literally, you could drive between the 2 places in very little time. Very close competitors. St. Croix, today known as one of the greatest fishing rod companies in the country. It's very normal for people to order custom rods. Their custom department is gigantic compared to Gibson, which takes up about 5% of Gibson guitars, is the custom shop. And at St. Croix, it's probably 35 or 40%, maybe 30% at the worst. St. Croix is top-end fishing, okay? So in 1978, St. Croix said, let's not let that Ronco guy that sells that little machine that scrambles your egg without taking it out of the cart, or the slicer and dicer, so mom doesn't have to cut all those onions and get tears in her eyes. Let's take some of that guy's money because he's making too much. So St. Croix came up with this. And it is called the fishing machine. I hope my screen's not backwards. Okay. And the original price from this sporting goods store is 24 bucks. 24 smackolas. Oh, I can't quite read it, but it does say HS Sports discount. So this got discounted. I don't know what the original price was, but let's take a look at this tank. I'm pretty sure this is original. But this is the fishing machine. And although this is plastic, and this is plastic, this is plastic, the housing itself is plastic, this thing weighs a ton. Because the guts in this thing weigh a ton. There it says fishing machine. And there's something very unique. This was the competition. Now, it extends 5 feet, and the rod holds very well through tension. This thing ain't collapsing on you unless you got one that's been beat to shit. out of the box, this thing would never uh, collapse on you while you're catching a fish. Okay. And this is, see, you can't tell what's plastic and what's metal, and that's what concerned me when I was buying it. But this holds a cold temperature, so I'm sure this is metal, this is metal, this is metal. But the frame of this thing, the this box here and the handle itself are plastic, but they are, there it says St. Croix, but they are, it's a heavier plastic. So it is a solid machine, but you're going to feel plastic, which is going to feel weird. Having something this plastic, just the frame. I've seen somebody take the guts out. The guts slide right out this way towards you. But here's the interesting thing. This is called the rangefinder. And say you cast this thing out and it drops exactly where you want it to drop. While your line is still in the water, you take this, you flip it up, and the next time you cast, it will go to the exact same distance. So as long as you're good aim, you could put it right in the same spot again. Now, while it is cast, and before you wind it in, you have to turn it off. If you don't turn this off, if you reel in all the way, then you turn this off, all the string just, and you got a big rat's nest inside your belt. Okay, so you can get these as cheap as 20, but what you got to do is look real close. A lot of them, this is not where you put your finger in, it's not silver anymore, it's rubbed off, so it's white. So this plastic casing was originally white, painted black, and silver, I'm guessing. So if this part's white, you got a lot of hours. You know, if there's a lot of dents and scratches on it, this one has virtually none. The silver will rub off and there will be white underneath there if you got an old one. I've seen a couple on eBay where this metal switch is broken off. But you could still find a good one on there for 20, 25 bucks. And I got this one new in box. I think I talked the guy down to 28 bucks with 14.95 shipping or something. Okay, so 28 bucks for a St. Croix rod that is made with amazing quality in 1976 in the USA. And if you could find a box, it's a great gift. If you can find it in the old, no matter how shitty the old box is, Grandpa knows, oh shit, this isn't just something they picked up at a garage sale. Here's the original box. Here's the instructions. Now, side note, important to know, almost none of these come with the original leatherette triangle-shaped bag. So in this box was a fishing pole that was inside this box. You would find a leatherette bag. Inside the leatherette bag is the fishing machine by St. Croix, one of the greatest name brands in fishing rods technology. So I think that covers it. I think that covers everything except for, one or two important points. When you're shopping eBay, you put NIB, new in box. There are a couple of other phrases that are used, and I can't remember them right now. New in box, new in box is going to hit you on everything. But as you scroll down, after they run out of new in box, say there's 3 new in box or 3 it'll show with the box. After you get back to 3 new in box, you'll scroll down. There's one with the box. New other. It's called new other. Well, that means that somebody probably opened it and didn't use it, or got so little use you can't even tell by looking at it. And those are good ones. Those are good things no matter what the product is, whether it's a fishing pole or a beautiful Chrissy doll from 1960 or a Tupperware set, a literal Tupperware set. But the big buy, the thing that I think will fit for everyone is when you look for picnic set, that's where you start. Just for fun, look up picnic set or thermos set. But picnic set is the word that was used back in the day when this white elephant gift was being sold. And you will find the original cardboard box with the what looks like to be a bowling bag, an elongated bowling bag with all these picnic items in them. And thermoses, a shitty Chinese thermos today is going to cost you twice as much as this thing will brand new, never used. It might just be when you're looking for these. Look for thermos vintage. Thermos is the name badge, vintage thermos, and stuff is going to come up that it's only a thermos, but inside is the paperwork in the instructions, because they usually put the paperwork and the instructions inside the glass tube. And these replacement glass tubes are like $10. New old stock. Stuff that was made in the 1960s and 70s. The glass in housing. I'll show you how this works so you feel more comfortable. The bottom part screws out, and then you got the glass. And that is the buffer, so when you drop these, they don't break. And they were pretty good at not breaking. Okay, so that replacement piece of glass is going to cost you $10, not including shipping, on eBay. God forbid you ever need one. Now, again, I don't like to use the glass ones. I love the Dino liner, the plastic insert. And I would always, the most valuable thermos in the world is this, because you can put coffee in this, but you can also put a lot of chili and a lot of soup in there. And that is new in box, never used. The replacement lids, if you ever need them, they're all there. The lids get a little expensive, like $10. You think they'd be $5. Replacement cups, very easy. You get a second cup, even though it's not going to screw on top, but you're going out with 2 people and you got a thermos full of chili for a picnic. There you go. There's so many people in your family that would use that. And if it's obvious that it's new in box, like actually one year, what I did, I wonder if I got it around here. I made, yeah, I'll show you. I got it. Okay, it's not that handy and available as I thought. But I basically made camo bags, brown camo bags with quilt lining. You can buy quilt lining, so it's like padding. So it was like the outside was camo, the inside was the heavy padded quilted material. It's got some foam in the middle or whatever, or same stuff, cotton, like what you find in your pillow. And then I made bags with big heavy ropes and drawstrings. And then between the two, I had a layer so they don't clank. And I gave those to people for Christmas. I literally not hand sewn. I found a sewing machine, brand new in box, Montgomery Ward, 1982, I think Judy Fontaine said, brand new, never taken out. See, some dude couldn't figure out what to buy his wife for their anniversary, for their 25th anniversary in 1982. And he's like, I know, a sewing machine. She's never said a freaking word about having a sewing machine, but I bet you that would be a good gift. Because men are not that great at gifts. That's an art. So, and men don't want anything for a gift generally, but you got to get them something. So if for a guy who doesn't want anything, finding him this is priceless. Or if you can't find anything, you get him a pocket fisherman, and then he has all these joyful feelings, like you have seen here in the chat today, of people reminiscing when they had their pocket fisherman. So it's not just a gag gift. It's not a gag gift, even though it originally was. This is the gift that you would get if you showed up at somebody's house on Christmas and you weren't expected. Okay, like the day before Christmas, the daughter calls mom and says, Mom, can I bring home my new boyfriend for Christmas? Or can I bring home my gay friend for Christmas? He doesn't have anywhere to go. This is, and I don't mean gay in a bad way, but every girl's got a gay friend and they always bring them home for Christmas. I mean, haven't you been there? Anyway, so, so this is the gift that they get. This is the gift that mom's got on the side that she picked up at Walgreens. And this is what the kid's getting. So as you have seen here in the chat and the other video that I did for Pocket Fisherman is people who they're not just telling us that they had one. They're telling us that they really liked it. I love that thing. You just brought good, warm, fuzzy feelings to me. So if you got a 50-year-old guy, even if, or stepdad or father-in-law, and you don't know what to get him, if you could find one of these in a box. Now, again, like I said, it had a couple reels. If you want to know how original it is and you're a woman and you don't know anything about what we're looking at, you got to buy the brown one, made in USA, because you could throw that in there at the end, and that's even more. You know, when they open it, you're like, yeah, that's the one that was made in the USA. So the brown one's made in USA, and it came with a couple of lures in it, and it came in a plastic bag that was kind of a Ziploc that would also hang on your belt. You may not get that. I didn't get that, but I'm okay with it because this is in really good condition. I mean, it got use because there was a lure in here, but it didn't get much use, and whoever owned it really took good care of it. So it's okay not to get one of these new in box. The only ones you're going to get probably new in box, I mean, they come and go every other week, but it's easy to get new in box green one made in China. You don't want that because for the same exact price, you can get the brown one. And if you get the brown one with the red sticker, you're getting the original. If you get the brown one with the green sticker, you're getting a rare one because there weren't that many green stickered ones out there, even though it came after the red sticker, which is 1976 to 1981 or 82, somewhere in there. So those are just some ideas. And also another great idea, which is also in the vintage realm, is I want to have JT coin rings on. And I may even do that on the other channel because my daughter loved her birth year coin that happened to have a state on the back because they're doing these special quarters since the year 2000, I think, or 2010 with the rare backs, like not rare backs, but like state backs. The first series was national parks. So there would be, every year they'd put out 5 different quarters with 5 different backs. One would be Grand Canyon. The next one would be the Alamo. The next one would be something else. So for the year, say 2011, you could find 5 different quarters. If you flip them over, the pictures on the back are different. So it just so happened that the 2007, they made 5 different quarters in 2007, the year my daughter was born. And one of the quarters was a place that she really loved to go, which was Utah. So I got that silver quarter. It has an S on it, not just for silver, but for San Francisco Mint. San Francisco, everything that has an S, you either got a D, a P, a W, or a S on your quarter. D and P is the regular stuff. West, what is it? That university where the military kid goes, West Point quarters, they have a mint. Those are just special. They could be silver, but usually they're just regular junk metal that we're using with a special reason, special, commemorating something. And then everything that's done at the San Francisco Mint is silver. So I go on to eBay and I look for a 2007 Utah silver silver quarter. You could add the word San Francisco Mint. And then you take that. I took that silver quarter, and then I mailed it to JT Coin Rings, and JT Coin Rings for way too cheap, and he won't raise his prices. And I've been on his ass about it for 5 years. I feel like anybody who orders a coin from him took advantage of him. because he does it for nothing, almost nothing. He is so good at what he does, and he's been doing it since 2015 here on YouTube. So the reason why I'm mentioning that is because a quarter looks very dainty on a woman's finger. When you take a quarter and you punch a hole in the middle of it, and it's not a big fat band. Like, I'm going to get a fatter band. He's in the middle of making my coin now, from a friend of mine who passed away from Australia, who sent me a very special coin. One of the few silver coins that Australia ever made was the 50-cent piece in 1962. In 1963, instead of being round, it was an 8-sided coin, and there was no silver in it at all. So they had to make it real clear to everybody, this is the same coin from last year, but now it's shaped like a stop sign, and it's got no silver in it at all. So the one with the silver in it the year before, which were super rare to start with because they only did it for 1 or 2 years in 1 year. So the first year, when they put out a new coin, the first year they don't make many of them. It's like the second, third, fourth year they'll make a lot. And then at the end of the run, like this year, they're not making that many pennies. So pennies from 2025 will have an automatic rare to them. So if you get a roll, save the roll. Don't ever open it. Keep them scratchless. They got to be mint to be worth it. So 2025 pennies will be worth a lot of money. I also have the last year that they made the penny with the original backing on it, and they didn't make many that year. And the next year they put the shield on the back, and they didn't make any that year. And I've got 5 or 6 rolls of each. And then they put out pennies with 5 different pictures of Lincoln's life, and I've got rolls and rolls of those unopened. And actually, penny is the wrong word. As I'm reading Killer Fuzz's point, it's actually a cent. A penny is British or Canadian, and a cent is American. So we just use their word, which we do too much with the far left agenda too. They come up with a saying, and we fucking clink onto it and won't stop using their words to describe things, which is awful. Anyway, let's see. I think that's about all I got to cover today. I did not cover how much these were. These are pretty cheap. But always try and get it in the original packaging. I guess that's the deal today. New inbox or new other are great ways to shop for stuff that you already need, like the alarm clock. Why go to Walmart and pay? I paid $5-6 for that alarm clock. I paid $6 for this. $6. And you go to Walmart and you pay $15 or $12 for a cheapo? Why? Even with, I didn't get that shipped. Like I said, I got it at an auction house that can't sell anything for more than $20. Rarely. I mean, you go there and all they're doing is rating people that, died at 90 years old. They got 90 years worth of shit in their house. And you go there and you buy it and it's perfect and it's nothing. You pay nothing. I mean, we got to start taking advantage of that stuff. Thank you very much, Killer Fuzz. Redheaded Step Buddy, I've been a member for 40 months. Holy cow. Wow, so that's got to be when we started this program. Yeah, I think it is. It might be 41 months, but because I found a list and it even says when your credit card number changes, and then you're like, oh, geez, I'm not a member of this, and I'm not paying for, my automatic phone bill payment or whatever. All these things stop happening, and you got to go back and change your new card number. It says that on the YouTube Creators app. It says this person is a member again. This is their second time. Like they fell off for a month or two, but then they came back. There's, I'd say 50% of the people who are subscribed to this channel are people that have been members for a real long time, and their credit card number expired, and then they figured it out a month or two later and came back. So that's a really good feeling too, to think that it's just like on YouTube. If you watch a video and you stop halfway through the video, but a couple days later you come back and watch the rest of the video, that's way more points than just watching the video all the way through. That's way more valuable to YouTube that you've got people coming back to finish a video that they already started. So thank you very, very much for that super chat. Can I heart it? I hearted it. Bob Street says, I need help. What do you need help with, Bob? Welcome to the Red-Headed Step Stacker Hello America Advice Show. I am not a doctor, and probably everyone in the chat would agree that my advice is not probably in your best interest. Hello, Shauna B. Poe's in the house. Yeah, his rings are amazing. Bob says depression and anxiety and TBI. Okay, I actually got this. Just try this. Make plans to do something that you would look forward to doing a couple weeks out. That's a trick to undo depression, to occupy your mind. Even if it's a vacation 6 months from now, and let's say it's a vacation you can't even afford right now, and you just take $20 a week and put it aside for something or something that you want to own, and you set a future goal to do something, and you have something to look forward to, that will help minimize depression. If you ask anybody not anybody, maybe there's 1 or 2 drugs that are helpful, but a lot of antidepressant medication, people say it doesn't really work. I'm not feeling better, and now I'm addicted to these damn pills. Anxiety. Here's something to think about anxiety. Anxiety, let's see. Happiness, sadness, not depression. Sadness and depression are very different. Sadness you feel when somebody dies. Depression is a feeling that is created without merit. There doesn't seem to be a reason for that to take place. So that's my definition of depression. And so sadness, happiness, anger. I think anger is kind of a blanket emotion 50% of the time, where people are defending their feelings and they feel sad, and then they put up this wall, and that wall is made of anger. So I think 50% of the time, anger may be unwarranted. If someone hurts someone that you love, or someone purposely destroys, takes arms against you some way, lawsuits or ruining your property, anger's warranted there. But anxiety is not an emotion. All those other things I mentioned are emotions that you can contribute to something real. But anxiety is contributed to something that hasn't happened yet and most likely won't happen. And I actually always told my daughter that anxiety was the work of the devil. I said, the devil is giving you the anxiety. The devil wants you to feel this way. If we can keep you in this low vibration, then the devil's getting energy off of it. I would tell her that. Because I don't believe anxiety, although I have it and I allow it to persist, it's on very weird things like going to the mailbox. I don't like to go to the mailbox. I don't even read the mail. I've got literally 40 pounds of mail downstairs I need to burn. So I do believe that understanding what anxiety is, and that it doesn't warrant a place in your brain because it's not attached to something real that would trigger a real emotion like happiness or sadness. Win the lottery, you're happy. Get a flat tire, you're sad. Things that are true, but worrying about getting a flat tire is what anxiety is. So anxiety, it is bullshit, but once you put your first foot into anxiety, you slip right down the slippery slope. Even though you're stepping in it on purpose, you're like, I know I'm going in head first on this, and it has no. And if you think back on every single event that you attached anxiety to before it happened, it never happens. It never happens. It's just the devil at work. That's my opinion. Killer Fuzz says depression is fear-based. Yes, and find out what your phobias are. And fear is a good emotion when you're presented with something that's real, like you run into a bear on a hike. Then you got a reason for fear. But fear for running into a bear on a hike is anxiety, and that's not warranted. It's not. It's not warranted. I don't know how this anxiety thing really did turn into a big giant tree when it was just a bush, really, in the 80s, where people were able to have anxiety but control the how they dealt with it naturally, and it's not so much anymore. Interesting. Hey, Red, I'm out, bro. Killer Fuzz, I'm out too. I know you got a video coming up. You got a brand new souped-up lawnmower you're about to do a video with. I'll be joining you over there. Peace and love worldwide. Live your life before your life lives you. And keep on smiling. And thanks for the super chat. And I hope everybody has a beautiful day. And both the Susans we got in the house have a beautiful day. Po time in the house. And, oh, I did miss a lot of chat. I'm sorry. Leisure suit time green. Yeah. Funny thing, let me end on that. White guys don't look good in lime green suits. Black guys look like millionaires in lime green suits. Black guys can wear any color suit they want, and they'll look good. White guys got like 3 colors to choose from. All right. Peace out. Love you all. Keep on watching, and give me your hype points. If you're still watching, give me your hype points. At the bottom, when you're watching videos, if you haven't used all your hype points, there'll be a scroll that has like 3 things in it. One of them is comments. It'll say hype. Scroll next. It says give me hype points on my adventure videos, please.